Then coming to the question of ventilating without support for blood gases. So we already discussed about blender. I mean, obviously that is no excuse for not having a blender. And in terms of ventilating without blood gases, obviously there is no textbook that describes how to manage in such situations. Okay, all the guidelines, all the textbook descriptions are going to be based on safe practice medico-legally and what is ideal. But we have to make some jugaad, so to speak, adjustments in approach. And obviously, many of our colleagues have discussed iStat. I mean, the company gives you the machine, and obviously, if you spend on the cartridges, you may be, I mean, it's still expensive, but you may have to limit the number of blood gases you do. And that's why a course like the ventilation course we have is very important in terms of understanding when exactly you need a blood gas. So it's not by protocol. Obviously, you're not going to keep doing every few hours when you don't have a blood gas machine or it's so expensive to get one. You have to look at the pathophysiology of the problem. You have to adjust based on the tidal volume measurements. And if you have a good ventilator, you're going to have the graphics. You understand how to manage with the graphics. You also train your staff in recognizing early. So for example, when over distension is happening, so that you don't face a complication like pneumothorax. The focus is on golden hour management as well, so that the stabilization phase is important and the baby gets managed appropriately in those settings. So we have the um, benefit of understanding the pathophysiology using the pulse oximeter appropriately. We do have end-tidal carbon dioxide sensors which can be connected to the Philips monitor, which can be connected to the ET tube. Transcutaneous monitoring is expensive, so I wouldn't suggest, if you can't afford a blood gas, you would buy a transcutaneous machine, so that's not going to work. And in terms of medico-legal, I think if you have a reasonable effort to do a blood gas, doing in another hospital is difficult because the transportation and the blood gas sample maintenance in India, it's not easy, but you could consider developing private labs are available, and you could have a network where they come and take your sample in an appropriate manner, the Swiggy kind of system with pick up and drop off by the bike. So if they have a professional doing it and they're trained how to take the sample appropriately, you may still be able to do it. And a similar approach could be used for newborn screening, for example, where a central lab is contacted and you link up with them so that none of your babies don't get, because even from here, many samples go to India for newborn screening. So it's not the lack of labs, it's a lack of coordination that the spot filter paper test is done. Doing the thyroid function alone is not adequate. We have to look at the full picture. So in terms of blood gas, so all I would say is that if you are doing only non-invasive ventilation, you may get away without a blood gas, but you need the pH, for example, if the baby is septic or if you're having birth asphyxia. So have an iStat machine with you. But once you invasively ventilate the baby, you cannot have an excuse for not having a blood gas, at least an iStat option in your unit. So when you think of buying a ventilator, think of investing in the iStat machine as well. And if your number goes up, get a proper Roche or similar blood gas.